My other favourite, actually, because I come from Suffolk, and one of my few distinctions in life is that I'm the youngest old soldier of the Suffolk Regiment, because the day I was demobbed, it went out of business. The Right Honourable Member for Suffolk Coastal, until the dissolution of this Parliament, was a former Cabinet Minister, so he'd held many jobs, called John Gummer. Now, John Gummer had a problem with garden pests and moles. And he put it as a parliamentary expense that the mole trap should be paid by you, the taxpayer. And what's really cute about this, he's now stepped down, nothing to do with his parliamentary expenses, of course. But his son Ben, even as we speak, is campaigning in Ipswich for the Conservatives to unseat the Labour MP for Ipswich, whose name is Chris Mole. You couldn't work it out. In my dotage, I want to become a poet, so I put this into. This actually got into the Times, so I'm a published poet. Let me offer this to you. It's a sonnet called The Parliamentary Bell Tower. In discharge of their parliamentary duties and incidentally the pursuit of power, our MPs perpetrated some real beauties. The hanging baskets, duck house and bell tower. Wodehouse, who should be living at this hour. Did Blandings Castle also have a moat? Forgive the idiom, but what a shower. And all elected on the people's vote. No doubt they did some service now and then, but took us for a ride and robbed us rotten. Surely we will not be deceived again, nor will their misdemeanours be forgotten. Henceforth let no one ever have the nerve to say we get the MPs we deserve. This is our chance to get a different sort of MPs. The Sir Thomas Legge concluded in early February, 52% of the 750 MPs whose accounts he investigated, 52% had claimed money which, strictly speaking, did not belong to them. They have not only let us down, they have embarrassed us. And I think it is a high imperative now for us, the voters, to insist that we get a higher calibre of politician in Parliament. What shocked me more than anything else during my 4 years was the willingness of MPs to vote against measures they believed in and in favour of measures they didn't believe in. It was the power of the whips, and you saw it at its most extreme in the vote on the Iraq war. We need we have to do this ourselves. Not a single front bencher of either main party has been forced to resign by his party. Hazel Blears jumped before she was pushed, and Alan Duncan was demoted from one front bench position to another. But there are people up in there still who, in my view, are complete crooks. And one of them, I won't give his name because I'd spent the next 5 years in the courts of law, represents a very safe seat and is protected by his seniority in his party. I was asked by some local people in that constituency to go up and consider standing against him. So I did, and I went in disguise, and I wore a dark suit. And I asked the people who had invited me, if I did stand, would you be alongside me and put your name to the campaign? And they said, we can't do that. We're too frightened of the effects on our families and our businesses and our finances. One of them was an Indian businessman whose family had come here 3 generations ago, fed up with the corruption that is rife in Indian provincial politics, and now it's taking root in a British city. So the stakes are huge here. I think that it's a fantastic opportunity for independents. I'm hopeful to get 6 elected. Terry Waite was hoping for 25. I think 6 is more realistic. I hope that Brendan will be one of them. I knew Brendan well during my time as an MP. He was a voice for sanity and independence of mind in Macclesfield Borough Council. But I was very struck by the lemming-like instincts of so many of the others. You had an extraordinary change in your local government a couple of years, less than 2 years ago, when Cheshire East was formed. You were not consulted. I was long out of politics, and I got desperate messages from the voters in Macclesfield and Tatton saying, what could I do to help? And I made representation to the House of Lords Committee deciding it, but it was already too late. The people were not consulted. Only the political class was consulted, and I'll tell you who else was consulted. Chester Zoo was consulted. I'm sure the giraffes took a very long view of it. But the MPs did not stand up for this and for you as they should have done. The only one who did was the great late Gwyneth Dunwoody, a wonderful lady who unfortunately died 2 years ago. So, it's up to us. I'd like to think we don't get the politicians we deserve. if you end up with Brendan as your MP, you will. That says a lot for you, because you will have a politician you deserve. I think it's possible. There are great things. It's a very volatile electorate. You see how extraordinarily the patterns have changed since the first election debate last Thursday. It's all to play for. The political parties are, in my view, I mean, there are some very good independent MPs. There are very good party MPs out there, and there are some good candidates. But the parties themselves are shells and husks of what they used to be. So we have this amazing opportunity, and I hope it will be seized. And I can think of no better place to seize it than here in Macclesfield on the 6th of May. Thank you.
That was, can you hear me? Yes. Thank you very much, Martin. I mean, what an insight he's had into so many activities, not only in foreign and international news coverage and tremendously perilous places, but then this insightful view, perspective of what it's like to be almost a sole voice of independence and single-mindedness in the House of Commons. Thank you very much indeed.
If you would like to help Brendan Murphy's election campaign, email brendan@voteindependent.co.uk or call 01625 262 173. You can also follow Brendan on his Twitter at vote4, number 4 that is, B Murphy.